The Ship of Fools, Episode 45, Snakes on a Starship, a mission no one wanted. The Shadow Quest glided through the silent black toward Vandros 4, a world wrapped in shimmering quarantine fields like a planet-sized snow globe. The plague below had ravaged entire cities, leaving hospitals overflowing and medical ships hovering helplessly above the atmosphere. The only cure: venom from the Rerathian Coil Serpents, a species so dangerous that even their reflections were considered hazardous. The crew gathered around the cargo manifest in the briefing room. Moxie read aloud, voice flat. Warning: venomous, aggressive, capable of dissolving steel. Do not expose to loud noises, bright lights, or sudden movement. Snipes gagged. Why do they even exist? Who looked at a dissolving steel snake and said, "Yes, let's keep that"? Banning rubbed his temples. Because the universe hates us. Aurora flickered into the room. Commander, the serpents are secure in reinforced stasis tanks. As long as no one disturbs them, there is no danger. Snipes pointed at her. That sentence is a curse. You just cursed us. Aurora blinked. I do not believe in curses. Yeah, Snipes muttered. That's what people say right before the snakes escape. The cargo bay was dim, lit only by the cold blue glow of the stasis tanks. Inside each tank, a serpent floated in suspended animation, coiled, shimmering, beautiful in a predatory way. Snipes refused to enter the room. He stood in the doorway, hugging himself. Nope, not going in there, not happening. I'll quit. I'll join a monastery. I'll become a space nun. Moxie smirked. You're being dramatic. I'm being alive, Snipes said, which I won't be if I go in there. Banning stepped inside. Relax, they're frozen. They can't move. Aurora added. Technically, they can move, just very slowly. Snipes squeaked. Halfway to Vandros 4, Aurora's tone sharpened. Commander, 3 vessels approaching, identified as the Red Corsairs. Moxie groaned. Of course it's pirates, of course. Snipes whimpered. They're not after the snakes, right? Aurora paused. They are broadcasting a message. The screen lit up with a scarred pirate captain grinning like a man who'd never heard the word no. Shadow Quest. Hand over the serpents. Their venom sells for a fortune. Refuse, and we'll carve your ship open like a tin can. Banning muttered, I hate today. The pirates opened fire. The Shadow Quest jolted violently as plasma bolts hammered the shields. Moxie gripped the helm. They're trying to disable us, not destroy us. Because they want the snakes, Snipes said, voice cracking. Banning pointed forward. Moxie, evasive pattern Delta 9. The ship dove between bursts of plasma, engines screaming. Aurora coordinated counterfire, targeting their weapons array. The Shadow Quest fired a volley of ion torpedoes, blue streaks slicing through space. One pirate ship spun out of formation, smoking, but the other 2 closed in. They're boarding us, Aurora warned. Snipes screamed. No, they'll let the snakes out. Aurora hesitated. Actually, the turbulence from the battle may already have... A loud metallic crash echoed through the ship. Then a hiss. A long, wet, slithering hiss. Snipes turned pale. Oh no. The cargo bay lights flickered. A containment tank lay shattered on the floor, its glass melted from the inside. A Rerathian Coil Serpent, 12 feet long, iridescent scales shimmering like oil on water, uncoiled itself and lifted its head. Its eyes glowed with predatory intelligence. Snipes whispered, I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! The serpent lunged. Snipes shrieked and dove behind a crate. Banning fired his stun pistol. The bolt hit the serpent's hide and fizzled uselessly. Aurora's voice echoed through the bay. Commander, their scales refract energy weapons. You must use kinetic force. Moxie grabbed a metal pipe. So we hit them? Yes, Aurora said. Very hard. The pirates breached the ship. They stormed the corridors, only to immediately run into a nest of serpents slithering through the vents. A pirate screamed as a serpent wrapped around his leg and dragged him into the darkness. Another pirate fired wildly, hitting a pipe that burst steam everywhere. Chaos erupted. Banning, Moxie, and Snipes fought their way through the corridors, dodging both pirates and serpents. Snipes clung to Banning's arm. "Why is it always snakes? Why can't it ever be puppies?" Moxie swung her pipe at a serpent lunging from a ceiling vent. "Because puppies don't cure plagues!" While the crew fought inside, Aurora piloted the ship remotely. "Commander," she said through the comms, "the remaining pirate vessel is attempting to latch on to our hull." Banning shouted back, "Do whatever you have to." Aurora rerouted power to the engines. The Shadow Quest spun in a tight corkscrew maneuver, flinging the pirate ship off like a dog shaking off water. Then she fired a concentrated ion burst. The pirate ship's engines died. Aurora said calmly, "One threat neutralized." Snipes yelled from inside the ship, "We still have like 50 threats in here." Engineering was a nightmare. Pipes hissed steam, lights flickered, shadows moved, serpents slithered across consoles, coiling around pipes, flicking their tongues at exposed wiring. One serpent wrapped itself around the warp core housing, its scales glowing with reflected reactor light. Snipes nearly fainted. "They're touching the engine! They're touching the engine! They're touching the—" Moxie slapped him. "Focus!" Banning whispered, "If they damage the core, we're done." Aurora flickered beside them. "Commander, I recommend luring them away with heat signatures." Snipes blinked. "Heat? Like warm things?" "Yes." Snipes sighed. "Fine, I'll be the bait." Moxie was shocked. "I thought you were terrified of snakes." Snipes headed off. "I am, but I'm more afraid of the ship blowing up." In the heart of the cargo bay, the largest containment tank cracked open. A massive serpent, 20 feet long, scales glowing with bioluminescent patterns, slithered out. Aurora whispered, "Commander, that is the matriarch. Her venom is the purest form of the cure." The matriarch hissed, rattling the metal floor. Snipes fainted. Again. Moxie dragged him behind a crate. Great. He was brave for about 2 seconds. Now he's useless. Banning stepped forward slowly. "We need her alive." The matriarch coiled, preparing to strike. Aurora flickered beside him. "Commander, she responds to pheromonal cues. Move slowly. Do not show fear." Banning whispered, "I am absolutely showing fear." The pirates regrouped and charged into the cargo bay just as the matriarch reared up. She struck. 3 pirates went down instantly. The remaining pirates fled screaming. Banning, Moxie, and Snipes, now awake and screaming again, circled the matriarch. Aurora guided them. "Her weak point is the underside of her jaw. Strike there." Moxie leapt forward, swinging her pipe like a warrior. Banning tackled the serpent's tail. Snipes threw a crate at its head while sobbing uncontrollably. The matriarch thrashed, knocking them across the room. She lunged at Banning, jaws wide. Moxie dove between them, slamming her pipe upward. The matriarch recoiled. Snipes, shaking, grabbed a fallen pirate's grappling hook. "Hey! Snake Queen! Eat this!" The matriarch turned. Snipes fired. The hook latched onto her lower jaw. Snipes pulled with everything he had. Moxie struck. The matriarch collapsed, alive but unconscious. Aurora said, "Excellent. We can extract the venom safely." Snipes lay on the floor, trembling. "I hate everything." With the serpent secured again, the Shadow Quest limped toward Vandros 4. Medical teams received the venom with tears in their eyes. "You've saved millions," the chief medic said. Banning nodded. "Just doing our job." Snipes muttered, "I want hazard pay and a new pair of pants." Back aboard the Shadow Quest, Snipes sat curled in a blanket, sipping tea. Moxie patted his shoulder. "You did good, Snipes." "No," Snipes said. "I did terrified. There's a difference." Banning smirked. "You threw a crate at a 20-foot serpent." Snipes shuddered. "There were snakes in the galley. I'm never cooking again." Aurora flickered beside him. "That would reduce shipboard food poisoning incidents by 87%. Snipes glared. "Not helping." The Shadow Quest sailed on, battered, exhausted, and snake-free at last. End of episode 45, to be continued.